Here's 10 real estate exam questions you need to know. I'm here to help you pass your real estate exam and get your real estate license. Let's get that real estate career started. In this video, I'm going to go over 10 questions. I'm going to go over the concept and I'm going to give you the answer. Subscribe if you want more real estate exam questions and tips on how to start a successful real estate career. All right, let's dive straight into this. So number one, an appraiser was hired by Whitney to appraise DuPont's property. With whom does the appraisers discuss their findings? A, Whitney. B, DuPont. C, any lender interested in the property. D, Mr. DuPont's attorney. So Whitney is the one who hired the appraiser, so that appraiser can share the contents of the appraisal report with Whitney or anyone Whitney decides. The answer is A, Whitney, the person that hired the appraiser. Question number two, why is the replacement cost appraisal approach generally easier to apply to a new property than an old property? A, historic costs are hard to obtain and verify for older properties. B, it is difficult to value the land on which the property is situated. C, depreciation is more difficult to estimate on an older property. D, different building codes may have been in effect when an older property was built. So replacement cost appraisal approach basically just looks at how much does it cost to rebuild the building. And so the answer here would be C, depreciation is more difficult to estimate on an older property. So let's walk through this one. A new property requires no adjustment for depreciation. Under the replacement cost approach, the appraiser determines the dollar amount required to replace an improvement at its current cost. So as the property gets older, the amount of depreciation is greater. The effective age of a property, which is what depreciation is based on, is affected by remodeling and maintenance unique to each property. So the replacement cost appraisal approach is usually significantly easier to apply to a new property rather than old properties. Answer is C. Depreciation is more difficult to estimate on an older property. Question number three. What is not essential to the creation of an agency relationship? A, agreement to pay consideration. B, competency of the principal. C, consent of the principal. D, a fiduciary relationship. Before I go on, I want you to just make note here. Make sure you read the questions carefully. What is not essential? Right? This one is a not question. So agency is not necessarily a matter of compensation. Agency relationship between a client and an agent exists whether or not the transaction closes and the agent receives a fee. So it doesn't matter if someone gets paid or not, you can still have an agency relationship. So the answer for this one is A, agreement to pay consideration. Question number four. When a broker represents only a buyer in the sale of real estate, this is referred to as A, single agency. B, implied agency. C, dual agency. D, general agency. So an agent may only be a single agent, aka representing one party in a transaction, or a dual agent representing both parties in a transaction. So if you just know the definition of dual agency or single agency, you can answer this question. The broker in this question represents only the buyer. So this would be a single agent. The answer is A. Question number five. The agency law disclosure does not need to be made to all parties in which of the following transactions? A, the sale of a commercial building. B, the sale of vacant land. C, the sale of a residence. D, lease agreements for less than a year. So with this one, if you understand what the agency law disclosure is, you would know that it's not required for leases of less than 1 year. The answer is D. We're going to take a quick break from those first 5 questions. If you thought this video was helpful so far, please give it a thumbs up. Okay, let's dive back in. Let's finish up these other 5. Question number 6. Agency disclosure is handled in the following sequential steps. A. Disclose, confirm, elect. B. Confirm, elect, disclose. C. Disclose, elect, disclose. D. Disclose, elect, confirm. So if you understand the definition of disclose, elect, and confirm, this one you should be able to answer. Agency relationships are first disclosed, then the agent elects what that relationship will be, and finally they confirm that choice with all participants involved in the transaction. The answer is D. Disclose, elect, confirm. Question number 7. What is an example of a real estate advertisement that is clearly misleading? A. Advertising implying a specific yield different from the stated interest rate. B. Advertising without stating the sales price. C. Advertising which includes a map incorrectly indicating the property is close to area amenities. D. Advertising which accidentally misspells the broker's firm name. So for this one, the map that incorrectly indicates a property is close to area amenities, these people are 100% sure of where the location the property is, but they are misleading because they put a map that's incorrect. Maps and real estate advertisements that show close proximity to more desirable or favorable amenities, or potentially, greater distance from unfavorable amenities, is misleading. Question number 8. Which of the following deed provisions are enforceable? A. The property may not be sold to minorities. B. The property may not be used for religious purposes. C. The property may be occupied only by females. D. The property needs to remain with the grantor and their heirs in perpetuity. So deed restrictions cannot discriminate against minorities or females. Cannot have discrimination. However, a deed restriction can prohibit religious use of a property. So the answer here is B. The property may not be used for religious purposes. Question number 9. Which of the following will not terminate an agency relationship? So this is not necessarily a question, right? Because if you know the definition of estoppel, the definition is the principle that prevents a person from asserting something contrary to what is implied by previous actions or statements. So that will not terminate a relationship. The answer is C, estoppel. So if you understand what creates an agency relationship and what terminates an agency relationship, you would know that A, mutual consent, B, death of the agent or seller, and D, destruction of the property. All three of those things terminate an agency relationship. Question number 10. Appurtenances, say that 10 times fast. Appurtenances go with the land. Which of the following is not an appurtenance? So appurtenances, if you know what the definition is, they run with the land, are transferred with it on its sale. So in this one, a trade fixture does not run with the land. It belongs to a commercial tenant, and a trade fixture will be removed at the end of their tenancy. So the answer for this one is D, a trade fixture. Keep in mind, this is another not question. So make sure when you're taking the test, you're reading these questions very careful. Which of the following is not in appurtenance? The answer is D, trade fixture. That's going to go with the tenant when they leave. So I thought this was a really good question. And so I'm actually giving you an 11th question, a bonus question. So let's go through this one as well. Marta City built a new park in her neighborhood. This may result in A, special assessment. B, general assessment. C, tax rate increase. D, income tax increase. So in this specific question, Marta City built a new park within a specific neighborhood. If the assessment is made for the cost to build and or maintain the park, it would just apply to the owners of property in that neighborhood as a special assessment. It's not going to be a general assessment. It's not going to be a tax rate increase, and it's not going to be an income tax increase. The answer is A, a special assessment. I hope you found those questions helpful. I hope you see them on your exam and you know the answer for them. Do me a huge favor and spread the joy. Drop a comment after you pass your real estate exam and get your real estate license.